Hey, it's Breakmaster here, and this is break time. And in this break time, I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite animes so far. I have to say. I mean, my list keeps changing because my number one slot used to be Hajime no Ippo, but another anime had came by, and I actually see it. There's a new number one for me now, right now, actually. And I can keep rewatching these series basically. These top 5 animes are the ones that I can always keep rewatching. So yeah, and then or they just have this kind of like there's certain moments I just want to see, and I just can't help but to still have that kind of like fuzzy feeling after you watch the show. Like once you see that moment, you start feeling like I'm getting that stuff with another actually right now. So I was gonna probably put this anime try to put the anime in here today, but I was like not my top five, not my top five, maybe top 10, not top five because now another's a really good show. I'm really enjoying it actually. So, but yeah, that's not part of the list. So I'm gonna start from number 5 to go into number 1, which usually you start from the lowest to high. So the highest to the lowest. But yeah, so number 5, which is Trigun. I love that series a lot, and I always rewatch that series so many times. I've watched that series at least 5 or 6 times now, and it's still good to me. I still laugh off the jokes they have in that show. It's Wolfwood's death. If you haven't seen the show, so it's a little bit of spoiler. Wolfwood's death, he dies in the show. Then that's still an iconic moment that just transcends time. That show is just something special. I really like the show a lot, so that's why number 5 is Trigun, and it had an impact on me. I really like that show. Not to mention the dub was really good too. The dub was awesome. So number 4 is Beck. Yeah, I know Beck. The reason I put this over Trigun is because Beck is a show that I didn't think I was gonna like. I didn't think I was gonna like this show. I just randomly ran upon this show because I heard a lot of good reviews and good stuff talking about this show a long time ago. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. And I've watched the show, and I watched it at least twice now, and I should watch it more because it's just there's still moments in there. There's a lot of moments in the anime. I love to just buy the whole thing. These are animes I also buy the whole just box set of. By the way, like if there's all the episodes, I just buy them. But Beck it's one of those shows that I did not expect to like. That's why it's on number 4 on my list, because I did not expect to like that show. It was just so different and really good, and the dub was really well done. The singing was nice. It's just nice, and it was music to listen to too. I put on my MP3 player and crap. It's such a good show. So Beck number 4. Number 3, this one actually used to be my number 1 until a couple of shows I watched, and then it got bumped down quite a bit. Number 3 is Death Note. I'm a big Death Note fan. I really love Death Note. I've always liked that show a lot. The show is just something about that show. I just really like it. I've watched the show so many times now, and the ending still kind of just gets me. And then there's like that moment when L dies. Like I said, it's all spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen the show, I'm sorry I'm spoiling anything for you. But yeah, when L dies and stuff, it's just and then there's the successors, and how the show went, and how it makes you think about how the world is. What if there was a Death Note, and what if there was a person that was trying to get rid of these bad people, the criminals that's in the world. What would happen if that were to happen? What kind of world would we be living in? Would it be like this in Death Note, or would we be praising it more instead of having it just what would happen? There's a thought that comes to the show, which is why I like the show a lot. So yeah. So number two. This one, because this one kept switching around a lot. That's why I kept saying. Like I said, Death Note used to be there, and then some other stuff. Like, so a lot of shows just kept coming by that made me my favorites. Number 2 is Hajime no Ippo. I think it was not Champions, but it was the first one where we see Ippo train and get better, and then he finally becomes lightweight champion, or the Japanese world champion, or something like that. I can't exactly remember which title we won at the end of that series, but it was great. I really loved it. There's so many moments. That's why it's number 2 on my list. There's just so many moments. Every time I listen to the opening songs, all of them, they just give me a chill down my back. They're just such great animes. It's such a great anime. I'm not saying it's just so great. That's why I'm like, it's hard to bring this down to number 2 because it was so epic. I don't know what else to say. It's just, if you haven't watched this show, you should watch the show. It's a sports show, but this crap is hilarious. That's one of the things I really like the show. It's hilarious. It has excellent action. It has everything you really want in a show, honestly. And it's a boxing show. If you like boxing, you're gonna love this show. And if you like boxing, you like comedy, you're gonna die watching the show because it's how good the show is. You're gonna love it that much. So, number 2, Hajime no Ippo. And my number 1 favorite anime. Let's go back down the list though first. Number 5 was Trigun. Number 4 was Beck. Number 3 was Death Note. Number 2 is Hajime no Ippo. And number 1 that takes the cake for all the animes. That's only because this is my favorite. That really really inspired me. I just rewatched the show recently with my girl. Yeah, it's such a great show. It's such a great show, and that is Tiger and Bunny. Tiger and Bunny is just, I don't know. I know some like people are like, oh my god, really Tiger and Bunny over this show? Tiger and Bunny. Yeah. Well, the thing is, to me, I really like that show a lot. Yeah, I don't know, part of me relates to it, and I wish, kind of makes me think like, what if the world had these kind of heroes that are sponsored by this? Because it can be in a real world sense as long as people have these kind of next powers, or just superheroes in general. I mean, you can let Batman have, just gadgets and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's still possible if someone had this kind of, stuff going on. That'd be kind of cool, It makes you think like that. And then just the show itself. Honestly, you watch the first episode and you're like, okay, it's a pretty good series. And you keep watching and it's like, it's good. There is not one bad episode in the show, actually. I enjoyed every episode of this show, actually. I'm thinking about it, I was like, there's not one episode I did not like. So I'm like, wow, this show is just amazing. It only gets better as it goes on, too. That's the other thing I really like about the show. It's good, but it becomes great when it goes when it goes even further. So there's no possible way you even think about dropping the show if this is what you want to watch though. Like I said, it's a superhero show though. Not everyone likes superhero shows, so that's part of me thinking not everyone would like the show. But if you like a superhero show, or if you just like good action and comedy and some slice of life kind of thrown in there because it shows everyone's life. This other thing that's about the show that is better than most shows is that they do a lot of character development for a lot of their characters. You know a lot about all the characters that are in here that get addressed in here, and then there's like shocking twists and turns on here too. Some are predictable. I will say they are predictable, but it's still an enjoyable thing to watch, even though it's predictable. I'm not like usually when you watch something predictable, you like it's so stupid because it keeps happening, but at the same time, like, not everything's predictable. That's why I'm like, there are things that you can predict, but not everything it's not exactly how you predicted it. And it's just something you can still enjoy, And it's such a joyful, playful show. You'll love the characters, all of them. They're all really good characters. My favorite character is Kotetsu. I keep using him as a profile picture sometimes because he just honestly has some pretty good pictures for one. But I like that character. He's a decent dad, trying to care for Kaede, and it's something you should watch. I'm telling you, if you like superhero shows, you should watch the show. This is a must for superhero watchers. If you're not a superhero show, I'm not exactly sure how. I mean, if you don't like superhero shows, I'm not sure how much you'll like the show. But if you stick with it enough, if you continue with it until the end, you'll like it. You'll like it. You'll at least call it decent. It's not a bad show. So Tiger and Bunny's my number 1 favorite all-time anime right now. Something can bump it down like Hajime no Ippo did, because Hajime no Ippo was number 1 until Tiger and Bunny came along. So yeah, now it's your guys' turn to tell me what's your top 5 favorite animes so far. I mean we said something about this before actually, but this is my new list. So I'm like, maybe you guys have a new list. Leave a comment below and tell me what your guys' favorite animes are. I'd love to see them, love to hear about them. Maybe I might review one of them. I don't know. Actually, I'm just trying to figure out more ideas of videos that you guys want to see. So, I mean, yeah. So, this has been Thabreakmasta. This has been my top 5 favorite anime so far. Break time. And until then...